Let me start this with, if the world ended tomorrow, what would be remembered? Would it be the speeches? Would it be the politicians? Would it be you? No. It would be the carbs. You ever leave bread in the toaster and forget about it? Or maybe leave a pizza in the oven. When you open it, the shape's still there. But that shit's hard as a rock. Let's scale that up. Pompeii, 79 AD. A city frozen mid-scroll, mid-sentence, mid-bite. And the best part? A baker had just pulled his bread from the oven, stamped it, scored it, done to perfection, ready to be sold. And then the fucking sky collapsed. So it wasn't the emperors who got remembered. It was the baker. Welcome to the Time Machine Diaries. Today we're going to talk about how a volcano roasted an entire city and turned it into the realest time capsule humanity has ever seen. Rome in 79 AD was a flex machine. On paper, they were an unstoppable empire. They had Vespasian, an old soldier who turned emperor. He stitched Rome back together after the Civil War. Then came Titus, his son. He wanted to show off with the Colosseum. Bread and circuses. Panem et circenses. Keep people fed, keep people distracted. Keep the mob off your back. Does that sound familiar? Hell yeah. That's fucking politics today. Twitter wars, Super Bowl ads, TikTok distractions, while real shit burns in the background. Rome invented it. We perfected it. Bread wasn't food. Bread was politics. The annona was a lifeline for poor Romans. You cut the bread supply, and boom, riots. Imagine SNAP benefits, but with swords and togas. And bakers? They weren't just small business owners. They were the supply chain, the Amazon warehouses of their day. That stamp on the loaf? It's the same energy as the Amazon smile, or Nike's swoosh, or McDonald's arches. You knew who baked the bread. If it sucked, you knew who to blame. If it fucking slapped, you kept coming back for more. Fast forward to today, we have corporate brands burned into our daily lives. Back then, it was actually burnt into the bread. Pompeii wasn't some back alley town. It was rich. Campania had vineyards, pumping out wine like Napa. Olive oil was everywhere. Garum, a fermented fish sauce, was exported across the empire. Think sriracha, but made of rotting anchovies and guts. And everyone wanted it. Pompeii was a trade hub. Pompeii had a booming nightlife. And Pompeii was where senators went to party. And where bakers, like Terentius Neo, hustled to make their mark. You want to know what legacy looks like? A fresco. Terentius Neo and his wife. He's in a toga. She's holding a stylus and wax tablets. That's literacy, baby. It's fucking powerful. And here's what's wild. She's not just someone in the background. She's center stage. Equal. She probably ran the accounts, managed the business, made sure payroll didn't bounce. He needed dough. She made sure the empire didn't repossess the bakery. Think of modern couples running diners, corner shops, or Etsy stores. He makes the food, she runs the numbers. Same setup, except it was 2,000 years ago. That fresco, that's a flex. That's a Yelp review in paint. We're respectable. We're literate. We matter. And yet history didn't even write down her name. How many women today carry whole businesses, whole families, whole movements, and still get erased? Let's talk about Vesuvius. To Pompeians, it was just a mountain. Green, fertile, harmless. They didn't know it was a time bomb. The last big eruption? 1,500 years earlier. Nobody remembered. They got warnings, though. Earthquakes in 62 AD tore Pompeii apart. Temples cracked, walls fell, but people stayed. Because the soil was so rich, the wine flowed plenty, and the money was good. That's us with climate change. The earth shakes, burns, floods, and we keep building beach houses and oil rigs because the money's still good. Same script, different actors. Pompeii was alive. Taverns, brothels, amphitheater fights, villas with mosaics, graffiti everywhere. And my favorite, Celadus the gladiator makes all the girls sigh. That's fucking carved into the wall. People were horny, broke, ambitious, and drunk. Kind of like today. Look around your city. Same shit. Bathroom stall graffiti. Tinder bios. Rich folks showing off their kitchens on Instagram, while poor folks work 3 jobs just to get by. Pompeii had it all, and the volcano didn't care. August 24th, 79 AD. Normal morning. Bakers were pulling bread. Merchants yelling in the forum. Kids chasing dogs. Then Vesuvius blew its top. Pliny the Younger, from across the bay, said the cloud rose like a pine tree, straight up and then mushrooming out. Does that sound familiar? Yep. That's how we describe nukes. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the same silhouette. Ash started falling. First light, like snow, then heavier, like hail. Roofs of houses caved in. The streets filled up, and people panicked. Some ran for the sea, some prayed, some froze. Then came the pyroclastic surges, superheated death, rolling downhill at hundreds of miles an hour. No escape. People vaporized mid-scream. Lungs burned from the inside. Bodies frozen in plaster like shells. And in one bakery, the bread was cooling down. Blackened, not gone. Perfectly stamped. The bread carbonized. Locked in time. That's like nature hitting save game on ordinary life. It'd be like if today Yellowstone went off and preserved Amazon boxes, McDonald's fries, and TikTok dances mid-motion. Imagine a scientist in the year 4000 digging up a charred Big Mac, still intact, sesame seeds and all. That's Pompeii's bread. Jump to the 18th century. Bourbon kings start digging in Campania, and holy shit. They find a whole city, streets, villas, brothels, graffiti, and bread. Europe freaks out, because this wasn't marble statues. This wasn't noble history. This was porn on walls. Receipts for bread. Graffiti dissing politicians. It was fucking real life. Preserved. And here's the echo. We think we're unique. We think our problems, our corruption, our distractions are new. Fuck no. Pompeii was us. Middle class trying to survive. Rich partying. Politicians scheming. And the poor hustling. All the warnings were ignored. And then boom. Nature says time's up. So what survives us? Not the bullshit speeches. Not the hashtags. Not the empires. It's the crumbs. The graffiti. The bread we stamped with our names. Pompeii screams across time. You don't get to pick your legacy. History grabs whatever's left. So make something worth leaving. Bake your bread. Stamp your name. Live like tomorrow, the sky might collapse. Because one day it will. And when it does, maybe someone 2,000 years from now will stare at your carbonized leftovers and say, yeah, these people mattered. And what the fuck were they eating? You know what Pompeii teaches us? That the world doesn't end with a bang. It ends with a fucking shrug. With bread cooling down in the oven. With dogs chained up. With receipts half written. With the TV still on. The phone still charging. The cup still half full. And here we are, 2,000 years later, still playing the same game, ignoring the earthquakes, pretending the mountain's asleep, arguing about taxes and tribes while the ground rumbles under our feet. And when our sky falls, when our volcano blows, it won't be the presidents or the billionaires remembered. That's the echo. That's the curse. That's the gift. So bake your bread. Stamp your name. Live like the ash is already falling. Because history's not waiting for emperors. It's waiting for you. That's it, y'all. Take care. Be safe.